What's happening? What's up? What's good? This is Moving Company Hustle, and my name is DJ. Welcome to the channel. In this channel, I like to talk about everything moving company related. Before we hop into this video, first things first, shout out to all the subscribers. Really appreciate everybody who rocks with the channel, likes my videos, and subscribes. Y'all are dope. So, moving company update. It's been about a month since I uploaded. Still got a bunch of content on the way. Still editing a lot of content. Social media has not been my priority lately. The moving operation has, right? I went through a merger on March 1st, and it's been a process going through a merger, creating new SOPs, new processes, new playbooks for the sales team. All of that is pretty much dialed in right now, which is great. Allows me to focus on creating content, focus on business development, and all the stuff that I actually enjoy doing. So, how's the moving season going, guys? Are you guys staying busy out there? I know that the market isn't quite what everybody expected it to be, but I hope that you're doing jobs. I hope that the jobs are coming in, and I hope that you're staying consistent out there and making money during the busy season. Now's the time to make money. Now's the time to start a moving operation if that's what your focus and what your goal is. But I hope everybody's, working hard, working smart, and making as much money as you possibly can. Let's talk about my moving operation. Let's talk about Headband Movers and kind of what we got going on right now. So first, let's talk about the fleet. So we're still rocking the 5 truck fleet. It was actually 4 trucks. We got the two 26 footers. We have a 16-foot truck and a 20-foot truck, but we just got back our retrofitted box truck. So if you've been following the channel for a while, I bought a dump truck that I shouldn't have bought, right? I didn't need a dump truck for my junk removal um, operation, but I bought $100,000 dump truck and it's set in my lot 95% of the time, right? We'd take it over to the dump maybe twice a month once we'd fill the truck up. But other than that, the truck was pretty much sitting. I bought that truck in 2023, so we've had it for a couple of years, and it only has 3,000 miles on it. So had the truck for 2 years. That goes to show you how often I use that truck. So it made the most sense for us to retrofit a box on the back of the dump truck. So now we can use it for moving. I'm going to get it fitted right now. We're going to put the E-track in it, make sure it has all the materials and everything that it needs, equipment, dollies, straps, floor runners, everything to make it fully operational. So we did get that truck back. We went over to DTI. It's been a process. It was like a 2 month process for them to retrofit that truck, but we got it back. Yo, shout out DTI for retrofitting that truck for us. Really appreciate it. So now the truck's going to be on the road. So we're going to be rocking the two 16-foot trucks, the 26-foot truck, and the 20-foot truck. Um, Things have been pretty busy. We've had some big months this summer. We're still hoping to keep the trucks on the road more consistently. So what we're going to be doing is stepping things up as far as social media goes. We're still not putting a whole lot of money into advertising. We're trying to run this as organic as possible, relying heavily on word of mouth and just making sure that the moves go really smooth so we can create these fans of the business, right? Fans of Headband Movers that want to refer us to their friends, refer us to their family, refer us in their church, refer us to their communities, refer us to their business partners. So it's really important that everybody's continuing to buy into the process and take care of our clients so we can continue to see those word of mouth leads coming into the operation. So we're not putting a lot of money into Google. We did increase our Google spend by $1,000 a month, which isn't a lot. And we're really not seeing a huge increase in the amount of leads that are coming in from our Google pay-per-click ad. So not doing a whole lot of spending a whole lot of money or time or focus on the Google ads, but we are putting more focus into social media. So we're going to be stepping that up. I'm going to be recording a lot of shorts for Headband Movers over the next couple of months. We've been doing a lot of networking with realtors, sitting down with realtors and telling them about our business and trying to figure out ways we can help their clients, you know, with the stressful process of moving. Moving is a stressful process. Buying a home is a stressful process as well. So we just want to build relationships with these realtors and, get their backs, get their clients' backs, and just ensure them that, we're not going to make this process stressful for them, for their clients, It's important, once that person buys that house, that they're moved into it quickly, safely, and floors aren't getting scratched, walls aren't getting dinged up, and if they are getting dinged up, right, we're coming out, we're taking care of those for your clients. So we're going to be doing more luncheons this month. It's been a process with the merger, just getting everything dialed in. And what do I mean by dialed in? There's a playbook for every position in the company. There's a playbook for the sales team, for the HR team, for the operations manager, for dispatching, for the GM, right? And it's been a process over the last 4 months getting all those playbooks and everything completely dialed in. The most important playbook, might be the sales playbook, but it's also the team playbook, right? The field manual for your movers and for your leads, right? They're the face of the company. They're out there taking care of the client, so it's important that they're all, operating out of the same playbook, right? Autonomy is important for your movers. We want them to be themselves out there and make decisions for themselves, but there's certain things that need to be done at a certain standard. So it's a process creating all these playbooks for the company, but the goal is, if for some reason I can't come to work, somebody can step into my spot, or if I have to take a step back from the company and go dark, right, for a couple of months, that somebody can be hired and put in my position and trained relatively quickly to ensure that the operations continue to do business, to book moves, to take care of the team, right? So it's really important to have a playbook. I just hopped on a phone call with one of the subscribers, somebody in the community that has a moving operation. It's been in business for 2 years, doing really a great job for their operation, especially a year or two. There's just a lot of really smart, talented people out there starting moving companies, and I see it. But one thing that I do notice is um, a lot of newer moving company owners, and even some moving company owners that have been in the industry a very long time, um, aren't creating processes for their company. And it's when you don't have processes, it requires so much energy from the owner to run the operation, right? So these playbooks and everything are so important. So had a conversation with a guy today about how important it is to at least have a playbook for your team, right? And if you don't, and you want to start to get that process started and get those wheels turning, the best thing that you can do is just sit down at your coffee table or your desk in the morning, get yourself a cup of coffee, and outline the perfect moving experience, right? And highlight the really important things like protecting TVs, laying out floor runners, communicating to the office, right? Like outline all those SOPs and start to enforce those SOPs in your moving operation. And it'll allow you to do things like take a step away from the business and not be on the truck. And I know that's a goal for a lot of people when they're with their moving operation, right? They want to focus on the cool shit, the business development, the social media, right? Building relationships in the community. Who doesn't want to focus on that, right? But you can't focus on that uh, if you have to be on the truck every single day, right? So it's really important that you have those processes dialed in. We've been spending a lot of time on the sales playbook, the sales script, getting everything really streamlined and really dialed in. The more it can be overwhelming, right? Creating processes and SOPs, but the more plays and processes that you have in place, especially on the back end, allows you to focus on things that you really want to focus on. If your goal is to, you know, take a complete step out of the operation one day, you need to have all those processes in place. So we've been working on those processes over the last 4 months, and it's an ongoing process, right? Creating SOPs, right? A mover makes a mistake on the job, damages a $5,000 TV. We got to create a process for that to ensure that it doesn't happen in the future, right? Or, you know, um, creating processes that align with federal, employment laws and state employment laws and stuff like that, right? Just getting super dialed in, because if you ever want to sell your moving company, nobody wants just to buy a company that just has a bunch of trucks and guys that just show up to do work, right? They want a turnkey operation. And if your goal is to ever sell your company and you sit down with somebody that wants to buy it, they're going to ask about the processes within your company. They're going to ask about culture. They're going to ask about playbooks. They should be asking those questions, right? So it's important that you have all those plays and processes in place. Um, We've been putting a lot of more time and focus into the realtors. We're going to be doing more of that. We're going to be sponsoring the luncheons. I'm going to start doing some cold calling. I was talking to my mentor about cold calling. He says it's really important. So we're going to start to do more cold calling. And, um, you know, I've done that in the past. I've had sales jobs where I've sold like magazines and newspapers, subscriptions. This was like 15 years ago, right? So I've also done cold calling for tech startups as well. So I'm very familiar with it. Might take me a little bit of time to you know get back into the groove of things, but I plan on start doing more cold calling. Um, just building these relationships with these realtors, building these relationships with other people within the community, just popping up. I don't mind walking into a realtor office. I don't mind walking into a leasing office in an apartment building and introducing myself and telling people about my business and who I am. Um, if you want to do more business, I highly recommend that you are doing those things, right? Putting the time and the focus into that side of business development. It's really important, right? Those organic leads, those word of mouth referrals go a really long way and allow you to be more profitable, right? And when you're more profitable, you can pour more money into your business to scale your business if that's what you want to do, or maybe pay yourself more. Everybody wants to be paid more, right? At the end of the day, everybody wants to enjoy the fruits of their labor. And in order to do that, it's really important that you build a really solid reputation and start to generate those organic leads. And you can generate organic leads through SEO and through your Google business profile, through social media. Social media is really important. We're going to be stepping that up. Like I said, we're going to be doing more of those shorts. Um, over the next couple of weeks, renting out a house and just filming, like 10 hours of just content. That way we have that content to be able to push out, which is really important. These shorts are so important, guys. If you're not doing shorts for your business, I know I need to step things up, but I had the merger in place and I'm not trying to make excuses for myself, but definitely need to step things up. But if you're not creating shorts for your business or for yourself or for your personal brand, you need to be right, and making sure that those shorts are keyword specific to certain areas in town, right? You can check out some of my shorts to give you a better example. But if we're doing a move in Lakewood, Colorado, I pull up, hey, this is David with Headband Movers. We run a 5-star operation. We're here doing a move in Lakewood, Colorado. This is a residential move that we're doing in Lakewood, Colorado. Stuff like that, and the description and the title goes a really long way. Um, so I'm going to be stepping up the social media for the company as well as for the channel for Moving Company Hustle. Um, you know, now that I have more time, um, I'm going to be putting more time into this channel. I know I tell you guys that all the time, and maybe I upload one video a month, but the goal is to get into a place where financially I can put more time and more focus into the channel to provide you guys more information and do some really cool shit with the channel. I do got some different videos coming out soon, but the goal is to be able to put more time and more focus into the YouTube channel. So let's continue on with this moving company update. So we talked about the fleet a little bit. We're running the 5-truck operation. Let's talk about the team. On a good week, we have 20 movers working for the operation. We have 4 really solid leads right now. We just hired another guy. We're about to promote a guy into the lead position, or at least the driver position. Leads are so important for your moving operation. Especially when you're first starting out. If you can have 2 really solid leads, you'd be surprised about how much money you can make and how smooth things can go within your moving operation. Leads are really important. You're taking care of your leads, right? You're investing time and focus into them. You're hearing them. You're trusting them to be autonomous out in the field. You're not micromanaging them, and just trusting that they're representing the company well. Leads are so important. So, on a good month, we have about 5 really solid leads that we can put out there and just trust, to do the right thing when we're not around. Movers are movers. This is the moving industry. We don't have the highest turnaround on movers, but we'll hire guys. We think they're a solid fit. They'll last for a week, and then we never hear from them again, right? And we're not the only ones that experience this in the industry. It's a very common thing. Not everybody wants to be a mover, and not everybody's fit to be a mover. It's more than just moving boxes. It takes a really particular type of individual to stick with moving, and I got a lot of respect for movers. being a mover for so long and doing so many moves, I feel like I see eye to eye with a lot of movers out there. And it takes just a particular type of individual. I got a lot of respect for anybody who's willing to move furniture every single day, especially in the busy season, right? It's a very tolling, physically tolling, um, a career to have. And a lot of guys, don't even look at it as a career, right? It's something to make them money until they move on to the next thing, unfortunately. But I got a lot of respect for my team. My team's been killing it, man. They've been killing it. We're not perfect. We're not asking anybody to be perfect. We're just asking them to be the best. Um, and sometimes that's a big ask. But we're not asking the team to be perfect. Nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. The GM's not perfect, right? Um, we're not asking anybody to be perfect. We're just asking them to be the best. And um, it's a very gratifying thing being the best and being able to say that you're a part of the best moving operation in your area, and to be proud of your work. And you should always be proud of the work that you put in. I tell my guys all the time, when the customer tells you, wow, you're so strong, like you guys are so fast, you're so efficient, like really hold on to that and be proud of that. If somebody's telling you you're strong, like, that's, you don't hear that every day, right? The average person does not hear that. So really, it can be a gratifying thing if you recognize it, and you should recognize it. If somebody's telling you, you're really strong, you're really quick, you're efficient, you're doing a great job, you guys are professionals, really hold on to that. It can be a very gratifying thing. And, um, if you're not doing that, I really suggest that you do. When your client's telling you that you're doing a great job, just take a second, just be like, yeah, man, like, I am doing a great job. Tell yourself that. I think that's really important. So the team's doing really well for the most part. We deal with problems like any other company does in our operation, especially when you have 20 plus employees. You're going to deal with problems, but my mindset is to always reset every day and tackle uh, every day. Every day is different, right? So just reset every day and just be prepared to tackle the day head on. um, this next video that I'm going to do is the importance of being stoic in your moving operation, especially when you're first starting your operation. And it's going to talk about stoicism, and if you're not familiar with that, I highly recommend you check out the video. I've had people tell me that I'm a very stoic person over the last 20 years of my life, and really didn't understand what that meant. But this video is going to talk about stoicism and kind of give you guys some advice on you know not let the small things bother you. And I know I say that at the end of every video. I hope you're working hard, working smart, grinding, not sweating the small stuff, right? Sweating the small stuff. And um, you know if you're focused on the small things, um, you're not focused on the things that really matter in your operation. So, if a guy makes a mistake within the operation, hold him accountable, provide him with some training, have a conversation about that. But I'm not holding on to that every single day for the rest of the week, right? That'd be a very petty thing for me to do. And my energy is required in other parts of the business, right? In other parts of my life. And if I'm putting so much focus into the small things in the operation, it's really preventing me from growing as a leader, from growing as an entrepreneur, from for growing the company, right? Focusing on those small things every single day. So keep an eye out for that video. I'm going to record that video right after this. I already got it all laid out and everything. Um, yeah, man. I got some cool stuff happening behind the scenes. We're going to be launching a Discord very soon. Um, Eventually it'll be open up to the entire subscriber base, but um, I've sent out invites to maybe about 20 moving company owners, and we're looking to build the back end of the community and making sure that it's the right people with the right intentions, right? We want people in the community that understand the value of providing free game, and just providing free knowledge, and wanting just to help somebody, just to help them, and not just trying to sell a course. And not that there's anything wrong with that. I don't want to knock anybody's hustle, but We're looking to add people to the community, to the back end of the community that really want to provide value to other people and help them out and mentor them. And we'll kind of see where that goes. But um, if I've reached out to you and you said you've wanted to be a part of the community, I really appreciate you. I'll send out some more invites. If you run a legitimate moving operation, shoot me a DM if this is something that you might be interested in. We'll be doing group huddles and masterminds and stuff like that, and I think that it can be really beneficial to not just the guys that are 1 to 2 years or 3 years within their moving operation, but also to individuals that have been in the industry a really long time. And if you're not on the internet and you're not on social media um, and you're not doing that type of content, that's cool. That's totally fine. But I think that everybody can offer some sort of value back to the community and help people out, which I think is really important. That's why I continue to do this channel, right? So keep an eye out for the Discord. We'll be opening that up to the public in the next couple of months. I'll be launching a course on labor only moving services. So I've been working on that over the last month. Put a lot of time and energy into it the first like week, and then I had to kind of take a step back from it. But I have few more things that I need to tweak, and then we'll be launching that course. I've had just this month, two people reach out to me asking me very, simple questions about labor only moving services. And I'm hoping that this course, um, can help, uh, guys that are just interested in just kind of getting their feet wet in the moving industry. So keep an eye out for the labor only course. I'm going to charge for the course. Somebody in the community convinced me to charge for the course. We'll see how that goes. More than likely, on to end up at some point providing the course for free, but it's taken a lot of time and focus and energy. And I do want to make some money through the channel. If we're just being real and we're just being honest, I do want to make some money so I can get some equipment and travel and do some really cool things with the channel. And feature some really dope personalities in the moving industry. And in order to do that, it takes some money to buy some equipment, to pay for some flights and stuff like that. So the goal is to try to start to make a little bit of money from the channel. I might put up a donation link so I can really step things up. And it takes money to do that. And it takes time, it takes focus. And I put a lot of time and focus in the channel over the last 3 years. So that's my moving company update, man. I hope everybody's working hard, working smart, grinding, not sweating the small stuff out there. It's the busy season. I know the economy is not exactly where everybody wants it to be, but I think that 2026 is going to be a huge year for the moving industry. So I hope you guys are, getting your processes and everything dialed in, getting your social media dialed in, and doing that one thing that you need to do every single day to kind of take you to that next level, and to help you, take your business to the next level. There's this is moving is big business. There's a lot of opportunity within this industry, especially if you're doing the right things, representing yourself well, taking care of your clients. There's a lot of opportunity to make a lot of money out there. So, all right, man. I gotta go. Uh, Peace out, man. Hope everybody's working hard, working smart, grinding, not sweating the small stuff. Peace out, man. Peace, 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 peace.